Tramlines is an annual weekend music festival in Sheffield. This year it takes place from Friday the 20th to Sunday the 22nd of July. There is also the Fringe event happening at the same time in Sheffield, which is on the 21st and the 22nd of July. We've worked together with Tramlines on this audio guide for the last 6 years, and the aim of the guide is to give an overview of the festival for visually impaired festival goers, with useful information about venues, travel, recommendations and advice. We have some information that was sent to us by guide dogs about if you were thinking about taking your guide dog to the event. So the guide dog owner should be able to make the decision about their dog, but needs to consider the environment is appropriate for their dog and the length of the time that they intend to stay at the event. You should think about an appropriate spending area so that the dog can relieve itself, and water should be available at all times. If the weather is hot, then you will need to think about shade, and the dog will need some time out to rest. If in doubt, then you should speak to your guide dog mobility instructor.
Hi, this is Graham Marshall from Sheffield Live, and I'm with Alex Deadman down at the Lead Mill, well, a little office above the Lead Mill, and we're going to have a bit of a chat about Tramlines 10, which I believe is the official name of it this year. Is that right?
That's right. Well, it's still Tramlines, but it is Tramlines 10 because it's the 10th
The
edition.
10th one. It's developed fantastically, hasn't it, over the years? I mean, it's completely different now in a way. Well, it was different last year to how it first started out. But as with any successful thing, it has to evolve, doesn't it? And it's really done some evolving this year, hasn't it?
It has. We've evolved into one location. Which makes it a lot easier for lots of reasons. It's great to know that people who get their ticket will definitely be able to see the act they want.
Yeah, that's key to it, I think, because you're getting better and better acts, bigger and bigger acts, shall we say, and sometimes people couldn't get in to see them if they turned up late, could they, and stuff like that.
Yeah, when you have a multi-venue festival, no one element can fit everybody in at one time.
No, that's right.
And if you program it, we tried to program it in a way so that it was spread out, but you can never quite predict exactly where everybody's going to go. That was one of the big benefits of moving to Hillsborough Park.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Hillsborough Park's a classic place for it, isn't it?
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
We went there in January. We did a press event where we brought some local media down, and there was people from Sheffield who'd never been.
Yeah.
There's people who lived in Sheffield for decades who'd never been, and it was cold, but it was a nice sunny day, and everyone was like, "Wow, there's this amazing park here that we've never even been to before." And
it's got easy access. That's the beauty of it. The site itself, as well as just getting there by public transport. Yeah, it's fantastic. The buses, the tram goes past, and everything, which is appropriate, isn't it?
Yeah, you've got a big bus terminus. You've got the trams. It's quite flat. It's really pretty.
Well, they've often had lots of different festival-like activities down there, so it's a known thing that you're dealing with there. Yeah. And of course the people who live nearby know about it, so they're used to that kind of thing.
They do.
And so the actual festival, it's on what weekend is that?
It's the 20th to the 22nd of July.
Right, and it's a 3-dayer, isn't it? Or is it a half-day Friday?
Well, we're starting earlier than we have done on Friday. Yeah. We normally start in the evening, but it's actually going to start more in sort of late lunchtime, afternoon on the Friday.
Yeah.
And then full day Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, it's going to be good. Yeah, I've noticed you've got some good bands and featured on there, but we'll come to them in a second when we've gone through the basics of it. Yeah. Because there's a couple of things that I've been asked about when I've been talking to people. Right. One was they were saying, is that folk forest thing still there? What's happening with that?
That folk forest thing is still happening. It's happening in Endcliffe Park. Yep. It's now separate to us, so it's a separate ticket. A separate event.
Separate entity.
But so have a look. There's a website for them, and you can find out what they're doing there.
Yeah, we'll go into the other stuff away from the Tramlines thing a bit later on. I know there's information on the website about how to get access and things like this.
Yes, we do design the website so that it should work well with readers, as you've mentioned.
Yeah, most of the website works fine. I've checked that out myself. The only thing that doesn't work is the very front page is like an image showing all the bands that are booked in a sort of graphical image, if you like.
Yeah.
That doesn't read out.
It's just
a picture. It's just a picture.
Yeah.
But as soon as you get onto the menus at the top, easy to get through, and they take you to easy for screen readers to actually pick up on. So I was able to go through the entire site and eventually understand exactly what was happening.
Yeah, excellent. So, if you do need, there's an email address which I've dug out now, thanks to Jane. There's access@tramlines.org.uk.
It's a nice flat spot there at Hillsborough Park, so in terms of other accessibility issues, I don't think there should be any, really. No, you might end up with the odd blind person in the duck pond, of course, but that should be
good. The duck pond will be
good for a laugh,
well fenced off.
Just joking.
We've actually had to spend quite some time taking the ducks themselves into consideration, and their well-being.
You don't want someone landing on top of a duck.
No, exactly.
Poor duck.
Well, we're just trying to work out how we can get them to buy a ticket.
Yeah. No, it's going to be great down there. So it's when we think about the actual bands that are on this year, then has there been anything change in terms of your decision-making process about what bands you have down there? I mean, do you have local bands as well as
Yeah, we do. Yeah,
bands?
So we're looking at getting the biggest acts that we can. Looking at what people say, acts that they want to see, sort of genres that maybe aren't being covered enough, or they would want more of. We do have local acts on there as well. We've got a number of ways that's happening. John McClure, Reverend and the Makers.
Oh yeah.
He's curated a lineup. He's got Sheafs on there, Tom Grennan's on there, and he's picked a band, Sophie and the Giants, who are a young band, sort of in his tutorage to some degree. So he's helping them with their songwriting, and they're supporting him on various gigs. They're not from Sheffield; they're from somewhere down south, but they've all moved here because they like it so much, and their band is starting to do really well. So I met them a few weeks ago, and it was up here actually, and it was very nice to see that. Also, we had some local acts through the Apply to Play process as well.
Oh yeah, I noticed that.
One of the bands that was really new was Universal Tree, which is Steve Edwards, who's a Sheffield artist.
I've heard the name. Not actually directly come in touch with him.
He's had various projects. He had some big hits in the house and dance world. He's a vocalist and can put his vocals onto anything. He also had a group called Lords of the Flatbush. That was with ex-Arctic Monkey Andy Nicholson.
Oh yeah.
And the Universal Tree is really soulful, really, really good music, and they'll be opening up the main stage. So it's really nice to have them on there as well.
Yeah, that's good. Now, transport-wise, we mentioned it briefly at the beginning. It's trams from the town centre. They pass there every sort of 10 minutes or so, don't they? Something like that.
Yeah, that's right.
Certainly very, very regular.
Yeah.
And if the others that go to Mailing Bridge get as far as Hillsborough, so it's only just up the hill from there. And bus-wise, I mean, there's a few buses. There's a sort of park and ride for the trams, but there's quite a lot of buses go past there, out towards Utter Bridge and out towards Grenna side. So you've cracked it really when it comes to getting there. Public transport is probably definitely the best option because there's not a lot of parking around.
We definitely messaging as always is discouraging people from bringing cars. There isn't parking on site.
No.
Residents are not going to be happy with people parking on their streets, and a lot of them will have permit schemes as well. So it's just and there's so many other options, as you mentioned, with public transport. There will be we'll be working with Supertram. There'll be a ticket that you can buy, a cheap weekend rider type thing. So definitely don't try and do it with your car.
No, I mean they probably don't need this now, but have you got anything like the old Busker bus type thing, or doesn't that really?
Well, no, because it's
not really necessary, is it?
No, because we're not. I mean,
you're not spread out.
Never
as much,
say never in terms of additions. We might throw something in.
Are there going to be any last minute additions to the
what would
performers?
You like? Well, we've got. We just did the Apply to Play winners. We just announced them. That was I mentioned Universal Tree.
Yeah.
And then we've got some announcements coming up in the next couple of weeks.
Are they secret then?
Well, we've got a partnership. We've got an ale. I'm not going to reveal the brewer yet, but we'll be revealing all on the official Tramlines ale.
Yeah, that's okay.
Actually found out today that it's going to be canned as well, which I think is quite exciting.
Yeah.
So it'll be available obviously on draft at the weekend. We'll be able to buy it in advance as well.
Good.
Also maybe some condiments. might be something along those lines.
Right.
Again,
I think I know where we're going with that.
Again, mentioning no names.
I think I know exactly where you're going with that.
There might be a known Sheffield condiment manufacturer, which there aren't hundreds of. There's
only one, lady. There's only one.
There's only one. They're going to be doing a special commemorative bottle.
Right.
And they're actually going to be raising money for a charity that they work with that as well. So, but all the details to come.
Yeah.
And there might be a few additions. There might be a few little kind of last minute acts that we might throw in there to keep.
So the best thing to do is people get on that website and keep checking it out.
That's right.
But you can apply. You can get stuff emailed automatically to you, can't you?
That's right. We've got a newsletter you can sign up for.
Yeah, I think you submit your email address at the bottom of one of the pages.
Yeah.
And the thing I like about it is it doesn't ask you for all your personal details immediately. I think all you have to do is give it your email address, click OK, and then you'll get a regular email update. Well, I hope it's very successful for you, and I hope the weather holds, because that can be contributory towards it. But at least because it's a one site, it's just easier for everybody to manage. So it's going to be great, and good luck for it. I hope it all works out well. Right, so over to Alan. Hi, Alan, you all right?
Yeah, hi, Graham.
Yeah, I've seen you for a bit, have I?
I know.
Even though we do shows at the same station. But,
ships that pass in
busy
the night.
lads, that's what it is.
I do play your show adverts on my Tuesday morning show.
That's the sort of presenter I like. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
Yes.
So you are knowledgeable on the fringe of tramlines, really, aren't you? Because you've been putting your own events on for years anyway, haven't you?
Yes, generally. I've been putting on events at Tramlines Festival for years.
That's right, I've seen you there a few times.
And, I've been working for Tramlines until this year.
Right.
In the Peace Gardens.
Yeah, so now you're probably more knowledgeable on the sort of fringe events, because just to put it in perspective, obviously the Tramlines 10 at Hillsborough Park is the official paid for full festival with the big names and all that sort of thing.
Yes.
Very structured and very professionally put together. The fringe is more, it's your hit and miss thing, because you're going to use local pubs, local venues, local areas, shall we say.
Yeah.
It's going to be quite mixed, but incredibly varied, am I right?
Yeah. Well, I'm a fringe person, really.
Yeah.
And, I think really in some ways what's happened is the diversity of what used to be in the city centre under the Tramlines banner, and it was very, very various.
Oh yeah.
I mean, tens, possibly hundreds of venues involved.
Well, I could never keep track, even though I knew about it, sort of.
Yes.
On the day I'd be wandering around and I'd lose it completely. I'm sure there's a band I'm supposed to be seeing at 2:00, and I won't be able to remember what it was.
Well, I could escape that because I was locked into one stage, which in a way was an advantage.
Yeah.
But when the news started percolating through that Tramlines was going to Hillsborough Park, a few people sort of raised questions about what's going on in the city centre. There was a bit of a bit of sadness there, a bit of comment, because up to that point Tramlines was associated with the Sheffield City Centre event, and so resolve that problem.
Good.
Through the fringe at Tramlines.
Yeah. So do you still have some of the old the old stages? Are you still going to be in the Peace Gardens at all?
No, we're going to be in Devonshire Green.
Devonshire Green, which was the old original Tramlines main site, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Yeah. And so what's going to be going on there at Devonshire Green?
Well, I'm programming Saturday a wonderfully diverse programme
as usual,
of colour and excitement. With quite a big emphasis on the tropical,
right?
In terms of African and Latin American music, reggae. For me, one of the big factors for the Saturday is that all the acts are from Sheffield.
Right. Yeah.
And it's not just me being a cheapskate. The budget isn't huge. It's just that the diversity of music made in Sheffield has zoomed up.
Oh no, it's absolutely amazing.
15 years ago, it was it was mostly indie, really.
Yeah. Right.
particularly what's new is particularly large bands, 10, 11, 12-piece bands with lots of brass and really, really exciting music, which you wouldn't really associate with Sheffield in the past.
Well, the one that springs to mind that I've had particular connection with is Jungle Lion. I remember when they formed, because my ex-co-presenter Sinead was a singer in that band and keyboard player, and I've seen that band grow from just doing pubs. Although you need a big pub for a band that size. But,
yes, because they were doing gigs in the beer garden of the University Arms.
That's right.
Up until last year.
Yeah, but the audience for them has got bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yes.
In fact, I did see a photograph taken from the stage. I think it was at the Shire Festival a few years ago, from behind Jungle Lion.
No, it was in the Peace Gardens.
Was it the Peace Gardens?
Yeah. Yes.
And all the crowd in front of it, it was a fantastic photo. It was wide angle.
Yes.
And it looked as though there was some massive event they were at. They were really pleased with that picture because it was incredible the way it just worked out.
Well, they used that picture as their press picture. And I mean,
I'm not surprised.
Massive event. It depends really how you define a mass event.
Yeah, that's
true. I mean, I suppose I'm not a main stage person, like I was saying earlier.
Yeah.
So, 3,000, which is the capacity of the Peace Gardens.
But to go back to
good. Sorry.
But to go back to the actual Sheffield diverse music you've got out there, there's everything you could wish for. So back to the folk forest thing, which happens in Endcliffe Park. What exactly is happening down there now?
Well, there's a weekend of music, plus market stalls.
But it's a separate entity, isn't it?
So it was born out of Tramlines, but it's now got an entirely separate identity. Happens to be on the same weekend, which is good, really, because it's keeping that idea of lots of variety on the Tramlines weekend.
Yeah, but in effect, actually, it could all drift to a different weekend, and it'd be just as good, wouldn't it? If it's a separate entity.
I suppose, I mean, obviously that's
but that's
like
for the future. It's still early doors there. We'll talk a bit more about the Fringe. You've got some sort of general background on the Fringe, haven't you, Alex?
That's right. Yeah. So Dad's talked about his Saturday, the main stage at Devonshire Green.
Devonshire Green.
On Sunday, the programming has been handed over to Live Core Events, formerly known as Young Music.
Oh right, I know them.
You do?
Yes, so they're based in Sheffield.
That's right. I was just talking to them about an hour ago. I bumped into them.
Right, excellent.
Yeah, so
Nats.
That's right. And they were saying they were doing the Sunday, weren't they?
That's right.
Yeah.
So they are. They're headlined by the Sunday is headlined by Cyteria, who are a stroppy offspring of the British rock band Girls' School.
Oh right, I remember Girls' School.
There you go. Yeah, even I remember.
Yeah, I remember seeing Girls' School and Motorhead at the university once.
Excellent.
My ears were ringing for about a week.
Well, there's a bit of an emphasis on loud female groups, which I think is great. There's another group called Caned, which is fronted by three sisters, hard-hitting rock band. And there's Farran as well, who are from Nottingham. So it's kind of like quite rocky and metally. Again, it's a mixture. There's some local acts. There's Sundance, who are a really good local indie band coming up. There's also an X Factor finalist, Holly Tandy.
I've heard the name. Yeah, she's
from Barnsley, 17-year-old singer.
And I think the good thing about that stage is the variety between the Saturday and the Sunday. So I mean, we're working together with Ollie and Nats. And they'll be very different on the 2 days.
And of course, as we've said before, there's all the hundreds of pubs that have supported the Tramlines ideal over the years, and a lot of them will still be having bands on as before.
They will. I can't unfortunately give you a comprehensive listings for 60 plus venues, but there's other stuff which is part of the official Fringe at Tramlines outdoor areas, which the council and Sheffield Bid have put together, as Dad's mentioned. So at the Peace Gardens, the former location of Allen Stage, it's going to be a massive screen, and there's some film screenings for families, like music related stuff, Sing, from a couple of years ago, and I think Moana is there as well, the musical, and in between that, messaging about the festival and some highlights, sort of festival reel, just like to help the atmosphere and something for families to do. There's also going to be a very exciting concept called the Boulderers, and it's a performance which mixes dance and bouldering and free running and storytelling. I've sort of got the concept, but until we really see it, it'd be hard to really imagine. So the Boulderers performance will roam around the city. So it's a kind of interactive performance. You'll start in the Peace Gardens, and then you follow it around the city. And it'll be starting several start times throughout the weekend at the Peace Gardens. And in Barker's Pool, there will be Professor Vanessa representing the University of Sheffield with the Street Theatre, and the Street Theatre that's booked. It's with the Big Yellow Bus events.
Yeah, that's right.
They're really they're really the best of the best, on the circus, on the festival scene. So that's all there as usual. There's also going to be some busking points. So when people designed for people coming out of the station, so they'll be near the fountains and then up near Hallam Square as well. There'll be sort of the best of the buskers from Sheffield, actually with a proper performance area, and I think that's nice to do as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Nice to bring them into the fold. And really, I've seen people streaming up from the station during the Tramlines weekend, and always thought it'd be nice to have something there.
Yeah, to pull them through, get them in the mood, sort of thing.
People dancing in the fountain a few times. Thinking interesting, not something I'd do, and maybe they should have some entertainment.
Well, I think you have done that sort of thing.
I'm sure most people have danced in a fountain at some point.
I just realised having your dad next to you.
That's right.
And what else have we got? Slightly derailing myself. I
bet he's danced in fountain anyway, so don't worry about it.
Quite possibly.
I haven't gone swimming in the garden pond. Some people.
All right.
Thanks, Dan. And also, as you mentioned, all the venues in Sheffield will be programming as usual. There is going to be a fringe guide produced by Exposed Magazine.
Right, so I was going to ask about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be completely comprehensive. Inevitably, there'll be things that aren't in there, and you'll have to do a bit of digging. But I think that's part of the fun. That seems to be partly what you were getting across before.
I think one of the things that people should do, I've got a bit biased here, they should listen to Sheffield Live the week before Tramlines.
Yeah.
Because most of the shows that are happening, in inverted commas, they'll be putting out their own little Tramlines guides, won't they? I would imagine.
Yeah. And everyone will have
We intend doing it, And I know Spirits of the Wapentake, my old show, they're definitely doing an extreme metal guide to Tramlines, which obviously won't cover the main stuff, but it'll definitely be the fringe stuff on that one.
I'm glad you brought up Sheffield Live, because on the 26th I'll be doing my Tuesday show devoted to the acts that are playing in Devonshire Green.
You've got to do it
on the Saturday and the Sunday.
Yeah.
So live core events are coming in, and we're going to do a joint show, 2 hours, just telling people about what happens.
Fantastic, that's the way to do it.
Devonshire Green.
So keep tuning into Sheffield Live, and you'll get the latest info on the build up to the event. Have a pen and paper at the side of you, or have someone there who can take notes for you.
Yes.
Or just download the podcasts, because there's a podcast available, so they can listen again. Because most of the Sheffield events that have been on in the past, I've pulled information from Sheffield Live the week before, and it's worked better than the newspapers, really, in some ways, because it's focused and it's done by people who love the topic they're talking about as well. It's not just somebody reading from a list who's a paid presenter who'll just do whatever they're told.
Exactly.
It's a different ball game, isn't it? Right, well, thanks for that. I think we've covered everything. The only other thing that someone was mentioning, I know it's on the website, but the cost of tickets, and are the tickets still available for different days or different parts of the main event? We're not talking about the fringe now, we're going back to the proper official Tramlines 10.
There are indeed tickets still available. At the moment, it's £79 plus booking fee for the whole weekend. Everything quite competitive, we think, compared to other festivals.
When you see the bands that are on,
It is more than it's been before, but we think it reflects the acts that are on there. You can do it through the website, and they're running down, but right now they're still available. So if you haven't got a ticket yet, go and grab one to avoid disappointment.
Well, thanks guys, much appreciated, and have a good one.
Thank you.
Thank you.